Hi everyone, we're going to do a bit of math and today we're going to talk about measurement. Measurement can be used to do a number of different things, but basically you want to find out something about an object. You might want to find out how long it is, or how tall, how heavy, or how much stuff can fit into one thing. We're going to start off today with height and length. That basically means how tall something is or how long something is. Things that are lying down or horizontal, you can measure how long it is. And things that are vertical, standing up, you can measure the height. Usually when people measure, we use something called a ruler or a tape measure for longer things. Some of you might have a tape measure in a toolbox. If you want to go and find that, that would be good. See what you can measure with that. But in kindergarten, we don't actually start using rulers. We're going to use objects that you can find around the house, such as paper clips, pennies. If you have blocks, that would be great, especially if you can stack them together like Legos, or even pencils, things like that. But basically what I want you to focus on today, first word is height. Remember when we talked about geometry and we were talking about two dimensions? The two dimensions were height and width. So you measure how tall something is or how wide it is. So when we're measuring height, we want to find out how tall something is. So that's what that is, how tall something is. So there you go. If you look at this picture on my board, these three flowers are all different heights. This is the tallest, this is the shortest, and this one is in between the other two. There's an example of taller and shorter. The one that is taller has more height. So you would measure it, it would have more inches or more cubes, whatever thing you use to measure that, the number would be larger for this one. The other thing we use for measuring the other measurement we're going to use is length. And this means how long something is. I could, for example, measure this board from side to side, and I could use a ruler. It has markings on it that show inches on one side, and my ruler also has centimeters. Those are different measurements. They're smaller than an inch. Here we focus on inches. I'm not going to use a ruler. What I'm going to do right now, we're actually going to go into the kitchen and we're going to measure the table because I want to show you guys how to do something. This is an activity you can try on Friday, but it'll give you an idea what to do and what tools you can use for measuring. Let's go to the kitchen. So I'm in the kitchen and I have two tools that I'm going to use to measure the length of my table from this side to the other side. I'm going to use a paper clip for one measurement and I'm going to use this pencil for the other measurement. Before I measure though, I'm going to estimate. That means take a guess. How many paper clips long do I think this table is? So I look at my paper clip. If I put it there at the edge, right at the edge, there's one. How many do I think it would take to go all the way across? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna guess 22 paper clips. I'm gonna write that down. So I have on my table, my estimate for the paper clip is 22. That's my guess. I'm also going to then measure my table using a pencil. And as you can see, the pencil is much longer. So if I put that down there, I think it's going to be about 3.5. That's something that's a little bit tricky. If you know that it's going to be not quite 4, but it's more than 3, you can put a half. So that's my estimate. I'm going to write 3.5 for the pencil, and I said 22 for the paper clip. Now I'm going to measure. Watch carefully what I'm going to do here. I'll start with the pencil because it'll be faster. I'm gonna put it right at one end and put my finger where it finishes. Oh, that's my dog. Now I'm gonna lift up the pencil but leave my finger there, and I'm gonna put the end of it right there so I know where to start and stop each time. And do that again. So that was 1, 2, this is 3, 4, and it's more than half at the end. So the actual length was 4, and I'm just gonna say and a bit. So the pencil, 4 and a bit. We're not worried about being super accurate here when you're estimating. Now, paperclip, I said 22. Let's do this. It's gonna take a little bit longer, but we'll watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, almost exactly 16 paper clips. So I'm going to write that down. Let's look. My estimate for the pencil, how long it was in pencils, was 3.5 pencils, but the actual answer was 4 and a bit. So I wasn't too far off. For the paper clips, I estimated it would be 22 paper clips long, but the table was actually only 16 paper clips long. So 2 things I noticed. My estimate for the big item was better. And also the other thing I noticed, this number is much bigger here. Why is the number for the paper clips so much bigger than the number for the pencils? See if you can answer that question. What I want you to try at home is to find 2 things that you can use. If you have a whole bunch of paper clips that are the same length, you can link them together or put them down side by side. That might make it easier than trying to use your fingers. But if you don't have multiples and they all have to be the same length, that's an important part, then you have to practice laying it side by side. So you're gonna try and find something in your room or in your house, anywhere. It could be your kitchen table, it could be a chair, it could be you, a grown-up. You can measure someone, measure a doorway, a cabinet, whatever you like. But I want you to estimate first how many of whatever item you're using do you think it'll be, how long or how tall, and then do the actual estimate and write the answers down. After you practice a few times, I think you'll get better, and your answers, the actual answer, will be closer to your estimates. So good luck with measurement this week. Have a good week.